And here's what I'm going to say is that either way, we're going to get the rest of the questions asked from Brian and chat a little bit more. And then what I'll do at the end of this is splice it all together in a video. So you'll definitely not miss all of the information, I promise. But apologies for that. It literally just went black on me. I was like, oh my gosh, where'd they go? So apologies, but we'll fix it in the end. And Patty, obviously, if you die on us, I certainly will understand at this point. But anyhow, were you in the middle of saying something, Brian? Did you get cut off, or I can't remember? Oh, where were we?
Yeah, we just assumed wine might have spilled or something.
I wish it was that simple. But it's Wine Wednesday, right, guys? Okay, you know how it is. All right, and then I did want to make sure, well, I'll just jump right back in then, and I wanted to make sure that I did get these questions asked. Sorry, guys. Hey, Thomas, we're back. Jeez, I like. Okay, Dee from Brooklyn did ask, does AquaChar substrate become inert? Who is its target audience, freshwater or saltwater?
Target audience is just water in general. It doesn't go inert. It's always going to have the carbon qualities to it, but it's inert's a strange word to try to describe things because carbon has a negative charge to it. It's going to attract to organic regardless. It can get covered with organics and not be able to attract anything in the water, but yeah. But the target audience is both freshwater and saltwater. It works equally as well in both situations. One thing that is unique, I'm a planted tank guy. That's always been kind of my passion, and I just moved this one, so it's still growing in a little bit. But with nutrients and dosing and stuff like that, a lot of people worry about carbon and overdosing carbon, stripping out those beneficial elements and stuff like that. So when I say AquaChar has a negative charge, it means that it's pulling in. It doesn't have any interaction with those salt-based doses. Whether it's nitrogen, phosphate, anything like that.
Gotcha. And this might be a really stupid question, but it goes along kind of with what you're saying. And just with AquaChar becoming a biological media also, one thing that I think I just didn't know. Oh, sorry. By the way, everybody, I made him big so you could see the beautiful tank behind him and the cool fish behind him. But one thing that I was always told is don't run any kind of carbon or charcoal or anything in a tank that you're first setting up, because it would actually like remove bacteria. Or is that, am I remembering this wrong? I just remember always being told.
That's a good point.
Okay. But yours harbors it.
That's kind of one of those old adages that go along. Yeah, so mine's meant to become a biological media. So whereas activated carbon is meant to strip out whatever it's taking and then throw it away. So what happens with activated carbon is after that first 2 weeks, it will start to become biological, but then quickly become septic. So you end up pulling out that biological side. So when you're putting it in a new tank, it would start off the biological side, but then you'd be pulling that out. So it'd be kind of like it would have to reestablish what you just pulled out. So whereas AquaChar is meant to actually build that biological side, so it's actually great for starting off a new system and cycling a new tank because you get those aerobic and anaerobic zones.
Yeah, I mean, heck, that's what Patty said, is to make sure that you can literally start the tank with it, not avoid it, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay, ladies. Now that I've got everybody back, Cheryl, Holly, Patty, anybody have questions, comments, anything you wanted to ask before I keep rambling?
Yeah, I'm thinking this thing sounds really cool, the AquaChar. So I'm thinking like maybe throw a bag like in my sump with the bio balls in there. Would that be a good use for it, just as part of my biofilter?
Yeah, you can. I usually say put it into a mesh bag first, just so you can kind of rinse it off and treat it like live rock.
Yeah, that's what I mean, though.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah, that's the way most people see great results with it. It makes it. I'm simplistic,
Mhm.
so I
It,
like
it,
pulling water out
it's
of your tank, pulling that out of there, and just rinse, like shaking it off in your water bucket. Um,
Nice,
so when you do
nice.
that,
I
it
like
allows
that
it to
idea.
reestablish. It allows the bacterial, biological side to reestablish what your problems are that week. So that's why I recommend the rinsing it and treating it like
Gotcha. So when
treating
you
the
get it,
biological.
does it have instructions for all that? Like how often to rinse it, how much more to add, like per gallon, or
Yeah,
how do you
there's
figure all that?
instructions inside of it.
Cool, cool.
and I can help with that
And
question real.
what I usually
Sorry. Go ahead,
okay.
Brian. I was just gonna say I can help with that question. It comes in a really awesome looking, beautiful box. This is the actual product. I've opened it and used half of it because I'm doing 2 tanks, obviously, and rinsed it. We'll ask him about that again. But I of course don't have it sitting next to me. But it came with cool stickers, 2 of them, I think. A very nice, detailed instruction packet. A thank you. I mean, it's really a good. It's well packaged. I'll say that.
I do have a question on this.
Yes.
Uh, I run K1 media on my tanks.
Mhm.
Uh, is this compatible with, and what would be the negative implications of running K1 in conjunction with this?
I don't see any negative implications. I have plenty of customers that run it as complementary. Um, Again, it builds up your biological
Yeah, I'm just wondering how
side.
to
The
do it.
K1 media is kind of more getting your aerobic bacteria colonized versus ours is more of like the anaerobic and aerobic side of it. It's part of the reason why we come in the larger size is because you can have that balance with the biological balance in a microsite is what they call it.
Because right now I'm running activated carbon, obviously,
Hmm.
and it's a pain.
Yes. And that's funny you
Trust
said
me,
that. Sorry.
oh, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. I'm so sorry. It's the lag, and I start talking, and it seems like Patty knows I never actually interrupt people. It seems like it, but I don't. You guys never. But anyways, I was just gonna say, I'm running K1 on my on the new tank, not the old tank. So I'll be able to give some feedback as we go with that. But yeah, I could just see it. I mean, I see the difference, but I don't see it as causing a problem. And it's funny to me, Cheryl, that you say that because I never. That's one of the reasons Patty approached me talking about AquaChar through the Women in Reefing thing, and I was like, I just don't usually use carbon on my seahorse tanks. And to find out that you guys always have, it's crazy to me because I just never had a need for it, I guess. And
Well,
now I see all these. Go ahead.
yeah, I'm old school. I run Purigen. I run activated carbon. Uh,
Hmm.
you know, it's the part of my filtration is old school that I know that works, and I'm always looking for new ideas and new ways to improve what I'm doing. But I'm also cautious because I know what I've got right now. It works very well, but I'm always wanting something better.
Hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
And go ahead, Brian.
and that's completely understandable. I've like I mentioned earlier, I didn't. I stopped using carbon for years after the whole head lateral line disease. Even like doing planted tanks, it would strip out my fertilizers that I was dosing. So I went straight to doing the maintenance routine and everything like that, and found my old school method. What got me onto AquaChar as a hobbyist was the fact that it did last so long, and it did that. I have a lot of customers, or I have a couple customers that have completely switched their, 16, 20-gallon tanks with just running AquaChar as their primary chemical and biological media uh, because they don't ever plan on dosing it. Um,
Yeah.
or they don't plan on having to dose medications or anything like that directly into the tank. So that is a concern with going that route. So I always recommend having like a K1 or something like that as a backup in case you do have to pull AquaChar out, so you're not pulling your whole biological side.
Right. Yeah. I rotate them through too to clean them and add new on a regular basis. So it's kind of it's automatic anymore.
But well, wait,
But
I have a question about that too because you
Yeah.
just said that would not be a good idea to you just okay, if I heard correctly, you're saying that there are
Yeah.
people that use AquaChar as the sole biological, chemical, and all of it media
Hmm.
for their tank. But you say not to do that because in case you have to pull it out to medicate or something. But I'm just thinking, wouldn't that like be the perfect situation where you could pull all the good stuff out, medicate as if it was a hospital tank, not upset the fish, and then put it back in, and then it takes all the medicine out, right?
Yeah, but I can see how that could work, but if I have to break a tank down,
Right.
the whole thing is getting hit with peroxide and then bleached, and
Yeah.
everything else in the darn tank is being taken apart and sitting a week out in the sun after I finally get finished messing with it.
Trust me, I'm of the same mentality. So if I'm making it, if it's either I'm doing routine maintenance or I'm completely tearing it down and redoing the
Exactly. It's either gone or it's going to
whole
work.
thing.
Hey, I wanted to say hi to Alex G's Aquariums, Chimp the Reefer, sup man, and Patty. Question for you, real quick, because I saw you answering a question that you've used AquaChar along with ChemiClean. That surprises me. Shouldn't it remove it?
Well, the problem is that like Chemi Pure, like right now I have
Oh,
AquaChar with Postguard. What's the other one? I do not have Chemi Pure. I actually run out of Chemi Pure, but it's Postguard and I forgot what else I have. Purigen, Postguard, and AquaChar, all in one on my anemone tank because I'm currently having a problem with nitrates and with phosphates, but this tank is pretty new. So I'm silicate. That's why I'm also using the Postguard. Because they roll kind of stand still maturing. And I normally add those at the beginning, the first few months, and then once they stabilize, I take everything out and leave most likely activated carbon. As such, being anemones, I want to make sure that if something happens, the activated carbon, the AquaChar helps with it. But yeah, you can use it because do remember, and please do let me know if I'm saying something wrong about AquaChar. But for what I understand, is AquaChar is still activated carbon. And Chemi Pure and Postguard and all these other medias contain more than just activated carbon. Like Postguard doesn't even contain activated carbon, and the other one, I forgot again what I used. But the other two are not activated carbon, and Chemi Pure does have a little bit of activated carbon, but it also has other resins that help with pulling out other nutrients from the water. So yeah, you can definitely use it along with AquaChar because for what I read, please do correct me if I'm wrong. The activated carbon on chemistry is the first thing that pretty much depletes right away, like in a couple of days, because that's pretty much where activated carbon is. It depletes in like 3 to 4 days. It's done. So it's good to have AquaChar, and rather than changing 100% of AquaChar maybe weekly, maybe change like a quarter, or just leave it there too and make it more live. I see it more as live AquaChar, which is like live media. So that's one thing that also people might see it's like, oh, I have this new product, I can just change or replace things, but you definitely want to learn really good what this new product is, like AquaChar, because it might not replace other products, it might be just an addition to the products that you currently have. So,
I want to apologize. I was literally thinking of Chemi Clean, not Chemi Pure. So that's why I said, wouldn't it remove it? Because I was thinking of Chemi Clean. Sorry.
Sure.
But it's actually not activated carbon, right, Brian? It's charcoal, or am I wrong now? Or yeah, tell us.
No, actually, I call for all sakes and purposes, I call activated carbon a complementing product to AquaChar. So if you want to get those quick 3 days, quick buildup of the yellowing organics and stuff like that, it's fine as a complementary product. I know some people like to use them as the resins, which the scavenger resins are basically just trying to pull up what the activated carbon's leaching. But it's interesting. I actually have an article from Tropical Fish Hobbyist from 1959 with Boyd talking about how adding resins to activated carbon finally allowed them to keep it for a marine aquaria for a year or more.
Mm, nice.
Activated carbon actually was the reason why they could actually keep them alive for months. So yeah, I consider AquaChar a complementary product to some of those products for their specific use. I read up on it, see what their resins are doing. There's some that are phosphate scavengers, there's some that are just organics. But with AquaChar, it's chemically designed to pull out those fine organics from the water versus completely strip everything from your water like activated carbon will do.
It's more focused.
Yeah.
like it focuses in and then it plays Uber Eats or whatever you call it. I get it. I love that.
Well,
I'm gonna use that.
that's where the hydroxides come in. Is they pull more of the organics in versus having a oxygen bond that's going to strip everything and pull things in. When you get the little bubbly fuzzy thing with activated carbon.
Right. And with the real quick with the when we were talking earlier, you mentioned it can be regenerated with peroxide. Do you have a recommended criteria for that? Meaning like you put it in the peroxide for how long, how much, that kind of thing?
Yeah. Usually I say do like a 50-50 mix of hydrogen peroxide and water. Just put it in a little container and let it sit there for 12 to 24 hours, and then let it air dry afterwards. That allows it to be able to, deconvert down to water, and also dries out the AquaChar so you can kind of shake off some of the dried out organics after the fact.
What percentage are you using?
And then then it's ready to reuse.
Yeah. What percentage are you using?
Just 3%. Just 3%.
Not 35?
We like 35% for seahorse stuff, but no, 3%. I get it. You don't need that much. Go ahead, Brian. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I was just thinking that reminded me of my distributor in Holland. He actually had the authorities show up because he was buying 35% or 99% or whatever it is for cleaning his bacteria bins, because you've got to have those completely sterile to do that. So he had the authorities knocking on his door. He's like, "No, I'm just making bacteria here."
Oh no. Oh no.
Hey,
Hey,
I've got 2 gallons of 35% arriving, but I'm breaking down and resetting up a series of nursery systems.
yeah.
That's 4. Whole different world.
Oh yeah.
Hey, couple more quick questions about the product, and then we can just have fun. And I'm trying to make these Wine Wednesdays shorter, even though we got cut off in the middle. Again, guys, I'll edit and make this a better video. Sorry, but how should AquaChar be stored? Oops, you don't want to see my address. How should I've opened it. I've used what I needed to use. I did rinse well according to the instructions that were in the package that came. But how do I store it now until I need more?
Just dry. To be honest, it doesn't really start working until it hits water and it starts. It'll do some passive air stuff. Carbon's weird like that. But for the most part, if you just leave it in the bag and keep it dry, it'll be fine to store it that way.
Kind of like storing DI resin.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
And also, you were mentioning whether it be for regeneration with peroxide, when you're talking about regeneration with peroxide in the half 50-50 mix, did you mean distilled water or ODI water or tap water or tank water?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
You can use just regular tap water if you want. Some people are like to use their DI water, so you can use that if you want, but it doesn't have to be tank water. The goal of the hydrogen peroxide is basically to get rid of the biofilm that's on the outside and inside of it, and free up some of those organics from the surface through the hydrogen peroxide oxygenation reaction. So yeah, that's the way to do that.
Gotcha. Hey, thank you for the super chat and subscribe. Thumbs up to you, my friend. Also, Chimp the Reefer has said he's going to probably buy some AquaChar at Wrap New York if they are there. And I know I will be there. I'll see you there, Chimp, with Patty celebrating birthday week. And so will you be at Wrap, and do you attend these shows?
I'm doing AquaChar. That's the first one. I just got my vaccines finished, so I'm still in the process of trying to recover and figure out what I'm gonna do from a show thing. I fall into one of those people that are cautious with those types of things.
Yeah.
Just because of family members and stuff like that. So Wrap New York, I haven't decided whether I'm going to that one yet, but I do have AquaChar down here in Orlando next month, and I know that's pretty close to the Wrap New York one. So.
And are you gonna do? Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was only going to say that you mentioned that some of this began at a MACNA, and I do the Women in Reefing and Seahorse and Pipefish at every MACNA, and this MACNA, is virtual still.
Yeah.
So hopefully you'll get involved somewhere in there, maybe even come to one of these events and share some more, because I'd love to get the word out there, because
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely. I sincerely miss shows. The sitting at home and not being able to meet face to face and talk to hobbyists, firsthand has been tough on me. So I'm ready to get back and just kind of, you know, have conversations and goof around with my fish friends.
Yep. Well, as I become part team AquaChar, of course, all you guys pending. I'm
And
going to
we're
let you
always
know
picking
whether
up
it
new.
works or not for sure. But as I become team AquaChar, maybe Patty and I can share it at RAP New York, or is it RAP New York or New Jersey?
Absolutely.
What's it called, Patty?
It's Rep New York, but it's actually going to be New Jersey. Well, yeah, it's Rep New York. Yeah.
Yes, and Chimp, we'll see you in a month. And Brian, before I just let everybody chat and then try to end this a little bit quicker than usual? Literally, you don't want us to keep going. We'll go for hours. And I will, Holly and Cheryl, give you a chance to ask any other questions. But was there anything that I didn't ask you, Brian, that you really want to make sure that people know, or did we cover most of it?
A lot of our basis. We didn't talk much about seahorses, but
Oh, right?
Hey, you're in a seahorse group right now.
Wait,
oh
and,
no,
and
I'm kidding with you.
But this has been used on seahorse tanks before mine. Didn't you have another, not case study, but hadn't someone done something with seahorses? Do you want to share?
yeah, actually, it's funny that you bring. Yeah, no, it's funny that you brought it up. The inventor, when he was before we launched and everything like that, the seahorse tank was his pride and joy. And he actually got the seahorses to breed with AquaChar and everything like that at the local fish store. The other one is our first show. We actually, I think it was Seahorse Envy or something, was the booth right next to us at Aquashella Dallas. And we actually had a situation where they used the AquaChar on their seahorse tank in the middle, and we came back and everyone's like online.
Okay, wait, now you really froze. Now I can't hear you at all.
Oh, are you there?
Yes, now we are. And guys, he's talking about Seahorse Savvy,
There,
but can you just
she's
start at
back.
Oh
that
yeah,
point? Sorry, go ahead, Brian.
yeah. So we had let them put AquaChar in their seahorse tank after our first show. We get back and we see people on ladders like picking things out of the tank, and I had a little bit of a heart attack. But once we got there, we actually found out that one of their advertisement papers had fallen into their tank, and that the ink and everything had they were pulling out the paper that had got no they got there we got there and the water was crystal clear. There was no bleaching, nothing was harmed or anything like that. It was just a cool little fun story of who knows what could have happened at the show if that wasn't the case. So
Yeah.
um
Well, the thing is, I'm always looking for new and improved ways to improve my water quality. And I'm OCD. I mean, I check everything at least once and oftentimes several times a day just to make sure.
mhm.
And I mean, I rarely get anything that is even hiccups.
Oh, and I'm the same
But
way as
it's
you.
one of those things. I'm always looking for something that's even better.
Yeah.
And that's what we love AquaChar. It's
And
it's better
so
and
basically,
better.
what you're saying is you could take out half of it. You could pull out half, run it through 3% H2O2
Mhm.
for 12 hours, and clean it up, and then reutilize it as opposed to activated carbon, which you're going to be throwing in the trash can, pretty much.
Correct.
And we can't wait to see,
Oh,
more
there you
as
go.
more people use it. We're gonna see. I'm sorry, I feel like you were talking. It keeps freezing, guys. But as we see more people use it, including myself, we'll learn exactly if the level of removal of the side of it, chemical side. I'm rambling. Sorry, chemical side of it becomes lessened after so many regenerations or whatnot. We'll learn that as we go. And I think Cheryl just had to jump out. I'm glad Patty's not had to go take cover. Sorry. But were you trying to say something, Brian? Or are you guys all frozen again? That's awesome. I'm back again. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
What was it?
There it goes. Almost back.
Okay, Holly, you just sound really
You're there.
wacky to me. But okay, listen, it's getting wacky on the technology, but DS coming to Rap New York. Mwah, see you there. And Dylan's hobby really quickly asked, what is too high of a pH for a seahorse tank? I wish Cheryl was still here because, to be completely honest with you, in seahorse tanks, pH isn't like the largest thing that we worry about, and I just lost them all. Great. It's not the huge thing that we worry about. Temperature is the most important, but just average saltwater tank is what you're looking for. If you have macros or coral or anything like that, then you're looking for that 8.2 kind of range that you typically want with a reef tank. So it doesn't hurt for them to have too high or too low or any of that, but stability is key in every way, shape, and form, right? So it doesn't matter if we're talking temp or we're talking pH or we're talking anything, it's about keeping it stable. And apparently I'm back. Are they all gone?
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay. I'm trying to let them back into the room now. Oh boy. Okay. But you know what, guys? I'm gonna let them back in and say goodbye. But we are going to actually try to make this into a better video. I will get with Brian on the side to make sure that we can fix this up and get the information out there without all of the live problems that we've had. I apologize for that. But now that I've got you guys back, do you want to say goodbye? and Brian,
I want him to send me some of this AquaChar.
yeah, we'll hit him up on the side.
It's on sale right now. I was just on the website checking it out, and I joined your email thing. It's
Oh
on
yeah,
sale, Sarah.
Seahorse Whisper is actually a 15% off code also. So on top of the sale price, you can get an extra 15% off with her code.
Yes,
I
thank
was
you.
reading up on all this before I came online this evening. I was reading all the different scientific stuff on it. I tend to be a science nerd.
Yeah, and feel free to reach out to me. Actually, anybody that has any questions, feel free to reach out to us on social media and stuff like that. We're more than happy to explain it. And word of mouth is the best way to get things out there. When people that other people respect mention something, then it's the best way to do it. I'm confident in our product, and I'm happy that so many people are trying it and seeing the concept of carbon as a biomedia is a little bit controversial in the hobby. So I'm so glad to see hobbyists,
my favorite
that,
is the bulk reef supply. I forget what the really good stuff.
Yeah.
And you put it in a bag, and the holes are just a hair too big, and you have carbon all over your tank. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Holly's laughing.
Yeah. Well, here's the other one with that one is you buy stuff you buy medical stuff and you get an expiration date on it, but they don't put an expiration date on theirs.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I do want to give Brian a chance to finish what he was saying, because we're really not trying to cut each other off. It's just the lag, guys. So sorry. But I did want to show really quickly that these pieces they're not a joke. I mean, they're big. I can't pull out a microscope or anything, but they're big. There's a lot in the bag, and as Holly said, they're on sale. And I'm so glad, Brian, that you reminded me. I'm being a dunce tonight. There, you get, is it 15% off, sir? I think
15% off. So
15% off an order using the code. Cheryl's gonna get some. Good. Using the code Seahorse Whisperer. All of this information will be in the description when we're done, and I'm going to try to splice this together to make a little better video, maybe try to get some side time with Brian and, not have the cuts. But, Brian, were you trying to say something else? I think
I probably was, but I could probably talk about this all night. So I think that we covered everything.
Okay.
I have one question for you, Brian. So when you're ordering it, it says a quantity for the chunks, 100 G. That's enough for 100 gallon, right? Is
Correct.
that how it? Okay.
Correct. It's 100 gallons worth.
Gotcha. Perfect.
if I buy anything more and stack it in this house, I may get shot.
Okay, and and again, I will absolutely put this in the description. But do you want it to make sure it's just Seahorse Whisperer one word, right? Is the
Correct.
code? All right. Okay. Well, since we're having all these technical difficulties, I'm going to go ahead and call it for tonight. But Brian, I can't thank you enough for coming and sharing, guys. We'll try to get more information about AquaChar out there and splice this video together, and I'll be sure to let you know how it does on my tanks because I'm really excited. This is a unique product. It's just not another charcoal. It's seriously unique, and I'm really impressed so far. But I'll be honest and tell you what I think as we go. But I'm not worried. So I just want to say thank you again, Brian and AquaChar, for coming and sharing with us, and we'll go from there. Everybody say
Thank you
thank
for
you,
having
Brian.
me.
Yes, everybody say goodnight. I'm gonna do my cheers and get to splice in this video.
Everybody
Cheers.
say goodnight.
Good night,
Oh, no.
everybody. Don't forget to
Seahorse.
check that code and get you some AquaChar. Cheers.